Hello there, very good afternoon to you. Welcome to Lunchtime News. We are coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studio here in Colombo. I'm Stephanie Lazarus. Before we head into the stories in detail, here's a look at the headlines.
2% tax to be imposed on undeveloped abandoned lands in the Western Province. Former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa summoned before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. People in Galevala face severe hardships without rain. Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe square off in decisive 5th ODI. A decision has been reached to impose a tax on abandoned lands in the Western Province which have not been developed as yet. Chief Minister of the Western Province, Isuradeva Priya, noted that the tax would be imposed in line with the local government ordinance.
The minister elaborated that one of the main issues for the breeding of dengue mosquitoes is the collection of water in abandoned and unattended lands which are often used to dispose garbage in. The new tax will have a value which is not above 2% of the land value. The Chief Minister also noted that if such unattended lands pose a threat to the area residents, the local government authorities would step in to clean these lands, and the owners of the land will have to pay the local government body a sum determined by them. The new tax will come into effect from next week.
A media briefing was held this morning to inform the public about the first heart transplant surgery that was conducted at the Kandy General Hospital.
Firstly, I thank the family members of the youth who was killed in the accident in Kandy for giving their consent to donate his organs. A post-mortem examination on the death must be conducted. However, we extract the organs before the post-mortem examination after obtaining permission from court. We obtained permission from court under the guidance of the Judicial Medical Officer. From the 7th onwards, we will be working on heart transplants under the guidance of 3 specialist doctors. The people here are those who contributed immensely to the success of the operation. We have here the specialist doctors and other medical staff who assisted in the operation. Since the completion of this successful heart transplant, our greatest challenge is to take care of this patient. The surgery was conducted last Friday night at the Kandy General Hospital with the help of a group of specialist doctors from the Peradeniya Teaching Hospital, Anuradhapura General Hospital, Valisara Children's Hospital and the Boralla Children's Hospital.
Now on to a headline-making story. The people of Galevala have been severely inconvenienced owing to a lack of rain in the area. Our correspondent noted that close to 250 families are dependent on a small well for water. The well does not contains murky, unclean water. The area residents lament that though this water is unclean and unhygienic for daily use, people queue up from 4 a.m. to draw water from this particular well. They also complain about the lack of interest shown by politicians and relevant authorities to provide clean drinking water. And meanwhile, the Met Department forecasts several spells of showers in the western, Sabaragamu's central, southern and northwestern provinces. Showers or thunder showers are expected over the eastern and Uva provinces after 2 p.m. today. And the Met Department also forecasts fairly strong winds of about 50 kilometers per hour in the southern province and Bibila areas. Moving on to more local news, the police headquarters said that a special police team has been dispatched from Colombo to investigate the shooting which was carried out in Point Pedro, Jaffna. 2 police officers have been arrested in connection to the shooting that was carried out in the area yesterday.
A sub-inspector and a police constable attached to the Point Pedro police have been arrested. Police said that the 2 officers have been suspended, adding that they will be produced before the Point Pedro Magistrates Court later today. A 25-year-old youth was killed following a shooting that was carried out by police officers at a truck transporting sand in Point Pedro.
Customs officials have apprehended a stock of illegal cigarettes worth over 1.25 million rupees at the Katunayake airport.
According to airport customs, the cigarettes had been flown into the country from Kuwait. The stock of cigarettes has been confiscated and the individuals who brought the cigarettes have been fined 25,000 rupees.
අද උදෑසන 2ට පමණ කුවේට් සිට ශ්‍රී ලංකාවට පැමිණි KU 261 ගුවන් යානයේ
Customs officials spotted a suspicious passenger on the KU 261 flight from Kuwait which landed at around 2 a.m. Upon inspection, we discovered 125 cartons of illegal cigarettes. We have received reports that he had made several trips from Dubai to Colombo recently and that he had been employed previously in Dubai. The suspect has been identified as a 28-year-old resident of Panadura.
රේගු අධ්‍යක්ෂක මිහිර පියරත්න මහතා විසින් රුපියල් 25000ක දඩයක් නියම කරලා තියෙනවා. ඔහු තාම මේ දක්වාම එම දඩේ ගෙවන්නේ නැහැ.
A motor accident in the Kenya area claimed the life of a motorcyclist who had not been wearing a helmet.
The accident occurred in close proximity to the Kutti-Karachi bridge in Kenya. The deceased has been identified as a 23-year-old area resident. Another individual suffered injuries in the accident and is currently receiving treatment at the ICU of the Kenya hospital. According to the police, the accident occurred when the motorcyclist had veered off the road due to speeding. Investigations have also revealed that the motorcyclist had not been wearing helmets.
The annual prize-giving ceremony of the Vattantana Samadhi Sunday School in Kandy was held yesterday. The chief guests for this occasion were ministers Vijaydas Rajapaksa and Lakshman Kiriyalla.
Lakshman Kiriyalla expressed his views on the recent development of the proposed new constitution. Not even one sentence has been written down yet. After preparing it, we will present it to the Parliament. But before that, we will consult the Mahasangha and incorporate their ideas. Tamil parties have accepted the concept of a uniform nation without any divisions between borders. They have also given their consent to the importance of Buddhism. I believe that this constitution will turn out to be the one that would please all parties.
Minister Mahinda Amaraveera attended a ceremony at which he donated funds to residents of the Veerakattiya, Udurupivilla area who are involved in jobs relating to the clay industry.
Certain individuals have started to criticize us out of jealousy. Those are those who are involved in third-grade politics. Although I know this will only aggravate further, I am not the one who will give in to such criticism. If they want, I can remind them of all the wrongs they have done.
The former member of the Horana Municipal Council attacked a person at the Vidyagoda Viharaya in Bandaragama. The attack was caught on CCTV. Well, with 9 months of battle ending in Mosul, Newsfirst learned that this significant development should be studied further, and we have Nilanda Nirudan, who is the research fellow of BCIS, who is also a specialist in warfare and security studies. Thank you very much for joining us today on Lunchtime News.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Well, first up, just tell us about how significant this win is for the world overall. The battle against ISIS in Mosul has ended after 6 or 9 months. Yes, this is one of the biggest victories for the world in terms of defeating ISIS, but does this really imply that the ISIS as a whole has been defeated?
Well, this is how I would put it. We could call this a crippling blow against ISIS, but it's not a death blow by any means, because ISIS is an ideological organization. So the loss of physical territory doesn't really affect them. It's a strategic setback, yes, but it doesn't really, it's not fatal the way it would be fatal to a conventional army in a conventional war. So yes, Mosul was a key stronghold. It was a symbolic stronghold because we've got to remember that 3 years ago it was here that Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi sort of accepted his responsibility as a caliph. So in that sense, it's a huge victory, but I wouldn't call it a fatal blow, no.
The leader of ISIS is alleged to have been defeated or killed by the Russians, but has this got any connection with the defeat of ISIS in Mosul?
Well, so yes, so Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the Russians claim that they did get him in an airstrike about a month ago. The thing is, with ISIS, because it does not run on the strength of an individual leader's charisma, some organizations, the minute you assassinate the leader, they just dissipate.
Right.
But ISIS is not one of them. So while tactically I think maybe it would have made a big difference because of the chain of command and all that,
right,
I don't really see this as being a reason for the fall of Mosul, no.
Just tell us about what this would mean for regional stability itself.
Well, hopefully it would take things in the right direction because the Iraqi government is under significant pressure now by local forces for electoral reform and things like that. So hopefully this secession of physical space will help the Iraqi government fill that vacuum and provide some sort of stable administrative setup, because that's really what will dictate Middle Eastern regional security. Can these governments give the people what they want?
Well, finally, with one of the biggest victories declared in Iraq itself, does this really reflect good relations between US and Russia, of their close collaboration in defeating ISIS?
Well, I think it reflects a good partnership between the US government and the Iraqi government. As far as Russia is concerned, of course, yesterday we had the news breaking that there's now a successful ceasefire agreement in Syria. So maybe this will take things in the right direction,
right,
but it would ultimately depend on where Russia sees its role in the Middle East. Does Russia see itself purely as the benefactor of Syria,
right,
or do they want to compete with the US in Iraq as well? It would depend on that.
Right. Thank you very much, Nilanthan, for joining us on Lunchtime News.
My pleasure. Thank you.